Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you once again for hosting this very, very important hearing on a very important topic. Once again, it appears that there's some in this room that just believe in the policy of the ostrich. We stick our head in the sand long enough, it'll go away. The reality is we got a problem. And Dr. Schieber, I think you might be best to answer this. We hear about the fund eventually running out. Remind me again, and for our listeners, how many years is that estimated to be?
The latest estimate, I believe, is 2036. So about 25 years.
25
from now.
Years. And you said earlier that that's likely to be, assuming healthy and in relatively good shape, if they retire today at 65.
You will be around 50 then.
Lord willing. So in 2036, we deplete the assets, and so in 2037, if you're a recipient of benefits and you're to get $1,000 a month, what happens?
You will the next month you will get $750.
Okay, $750, and that goes for a year.
Well, you would get a monthly check.
Correct. But the first year after the year in which we deplete the assets, we go down to 77% of being able to meet liabilities. So the second year, what happens, we've accrued basically 23% of last year's liabilities that we haven't been able to pay. So now the second year, what happens?
Under current law, Social Security cannot borrow money. So
Correct.
Social Security would be making payments at that juncture, most people assume, at the rate at which money would be coming in. So and the rates are projected to be relatively constant out there. So it would govern along somewhere around 75%, 78%, whatever in that window. Of course, if we have one of the happy experiences, which we may have sometime in the future, like the one we've been through the last couple of years, and revenues drop very significantly, then it might not be 75%, it may be 60%. So, no guarantees.
And so, I guess what I'm having a hard time understanding is, why do we continue to send statements to people who might be around 50 years from now to tell them to expect a certain benefit when we know today the truth to be that under the current system, they should not base their retirement on the current expectation.
The statement has included generally a comment to the effect that the system is underfunded and that Congress is either going to have to do something or benefits could be reduced in the future. But the reason that they can't send out a statement to people who are 50 years old today or 40 years old today and say, oh, hey, by the way, here's kind of one calculation, but really your benefit's only going to be 70%, 80% of that, is because of the letters that those of you sitting at this table would get in response.
But isn't that the truth? I mean, isn't current law say that based on the current assets in 2036, they're only going to get 77%?
There's two aspects to current law. One is the revenue aspect, defining how much is going to be collected, and then there's a benefit formula aspect to it. And the law says something right now that is inconsistent in these two segments of its corpus. The general public, I don't think has a complete appreciation of what's going on. I think generally they know something's wrong. But we go off and we propose to them that there's some magical simple solution. We hear all the time about these surveys. The public would like to pay more for Social Security rather than having benefits cut.
Right.
Oh, and how would you like that done? Well, tax people who are earning more than $106,000. That's not the American people. That's not the American workers paying for this. And if you look at Table 2 in my presentation, the people they want to raise taxes on are already getting back less than 50 cents on the dollar for what they're contributing. FDR thought this was wrong. The early architects thought it was wrong, and Robert Ball repeatedly said that these low rates of return in this system are wrong. And what they are talking about doing is exacerbating it because the American people, we hear, are willing to pay more taxes to support this program.
Well, I see my time has expired, but it seems to me to send out a statement which we know to be false under current law. My last statement I had with me, I think at the last hearing for those of you that were here, and it said that when I retire 40 years from now, I should plan based on my current income to receive $3,000 a month. And then it said, is Social Security in trouble? No. And it went in to say that under current law, it's required to meet the obligations and on and on and on. All I'm suggesting is for someone who's not in Congress, who's someone who doesn't serve on the Social Security Subcommittee of Ways and Means, who isn't privy to this information, but only privy to the statement by which they're sent from the Social Security Administration, I think it's disingenuous, I think it's wrong, I think it's misinformation, and I think in many respects it's similar to a Ponzi scheme that we send people to jail for out in the real world. So I appreciate the Chairman's continuation on this subject, and I look forward to working with him and our ranking member here when he realizes we got a problem and tries to help us fix it. Thank you.
Mr. Schock, I've realized the problem, but it's not Social Security.
That seems like all our witnesses think Social Security is a problem. Listen, I want to thank each and every one of you for your comments. I think this has been beneficial to all of us. Thank you for being here today. We know in 2036, according to you, 75%, I'm told 77%.
Yeah.
Congress and the President need to find common sense solutions to make Social Security secure, sustainable, and the sooner we do so, the sooner we can protect those who are most vulnerable. With that, I thank you all for being here and all our members, and the committee stands adjourned.